always thought that he had a monocle. So is this something that has been changed because of somebody messing around with time at some point, or tried to fix time and created then alternate timelines? Because I do think that if time travel is possible, that the universe avoids that whole paradox that a lot of scientists love to write about, saying, well, time travel can't be possible because, then they have like the grandfather paradox where, if you could travel back in time and kill your grandfather, well, that would then create a reality where you didn't exist. So how could you come back into the past and kill your grandfather, and so on and so forth? Well, I think that there's the possibility that if you are able to travel to the past and kill your grandfather, that creates then an alternative timeline that your grandfather's dead and you don't exist in that timeline, but that doesn't matter because you came from a different timeline. The Mandela effect could be a similar situation where a different timeline has been created, and like everything else in nature, nothing is quite perfect, so you still have some people who have a memory of the previous timeline before it branched out, creating the Mandela effect. Other people who remember things that happen, but nobody else, agrees upon it, especially, loved ones or, close friends or things like that. Again, that could be a situation where you have gone into an alternative reality without realizing it. But again, this reality is so similar to the one that you previously came from that, with the exception of some minute differences, you wouldn't ever know the difference. Well, and in fact, there was, and I don't know whether or not this is still being bandied about by quantum theorists, but there was an idea at one point that all of us are constantly shifting realities all the time. Just imagine all these different realities as being like individual frames on a celluloid film, all right, like a movie film, and that we are constantly jumping based on the things that we do every day, the decisions we make, from one frame to the other, each one of these frames being a different reality. And and this was something that has been seriously suggested and considered by physicists. So if we live in a reality where things like that can happen, then a lot of this mysterious phenomena that we have talked about and love talking about on this show is not only possible, but it's probable. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. I got another question for you. Do you think we have and have had an active time machine or a time travel program maybe since the 40s, 50s, 60s, and it's ongoing? Do you think that's possible, especially near Montauk there or Plum Island in those areas?
I think that there has been research and extensive research done along these lines, and probably still going on today. A lot of it based on the original Philadelphia experiment and trying to understand what happened with that. And I mean, there could also be a possibility that this Project Pegasus that I had talked about earlier was actually taken place. I just don't know whether or not these things, these operations and projects have become as sophisticated as a lot of these whistleblowers say that they are. And this is just my own, personal opinion based on the research that I have done over the years. We do know that when you get the government, military, and some of these very high priority, high budget laboratories working on things like this, that a lot of scientific advancement can take place right under our noses, the civilian world I'm referring to, that we won't find out for 50 years, maybe more down the line. Time travel, at least as we currently understand it, may be a lot more difficult to accomplish with our current understanding of physics and reality. Now then, if you have a laboratory that is working along the lines of using the human mind, consciousness, psychic powers, things like that, in order to accomplish time travel, I think that maybe has a lot more validity and being able to accomplish it a lot quicker than taking the entirely, say, scientific or mechanical, electronic way to create a time machine. Kind of like the movie The Time Machine, where the scientist made this very quaint Victorian-looking time machine. If these projects instead attempted to use the human mind and our understanding on how our consciousness can actually interact and work with reality, I think something like that probably would see a lot more success rate than just solely an electronic or mechanical type of time machine.
Yeah, and one of the theories is some of the UFOs that come here could possibly be us from the future. And another thing, if alien species, even if they were coming here, the UFOs would have to be some sort of a time machine also. And so who's to say that we haven't maybe, extorted them or captured them, forced them to show us how to use it? Or I don't think we could reverse engineer that. But, these are all possibilities, I reckon.
Well, yeah, that's one of my favorite theories on the whole UFO mystery, is that at least one aspect of it is our descendants from quite a ways in the future, coming back to visit us, and what better way to disguise themselves because they know from history that people were seeing UFOs with beings coming out claiming to be from other planets. So, you go back and somebody accidentally sees you, you can say, yeah, well, we're from Mars or Zeta Reticuli or someplace like that, not revealing that you're actually, great grandchild, from a million years, in the future, coming back to, explore or even, as some people have speculated, gather genetic material. Because the future probably, may not be as, a good a place as we would like to think it could be.
Well, that makes a reason too why that a lot of people claim that these UFOs go through portals and stuff like that. Maybe they're using the portals to go speed up, the speed where they can go forward or backward in time. I don't know.
Well, one of the aspects of the whole alien abduction stories is that these beings are claiming that they're here to gather genetic material from humans in an attempt to hybridize their alien race, which is dying for whatever reason, using human DNA. Now, from what we currently know about different species, that probably would not be possible, unless you're dealing with such an advanced society scientifically that they're able to use the best of our genes and meld with those. However, if you're dealing with a species that is basically human, or at least a close relation to human, then that makes more sense that they're coming from the future to try to get some untainted DNA to help future humans.
Well, that makes a lot of sense to me. Now, I hate to say it, our time is almost up. Now, I can let you go, or if you want to hang another half an hour, it's all up, to you.
Well, it's midnight here on the in the Eastern Time Zone, so I think we're going to have to call it quits for tonight.
Okay. Well, you know what? I really enjoyed having you back on, Tim. Now, boy, I keep forgetting the 3-hour time difference. Again, what is your latest book?
Well, right now, I am currently working on a book along with Timothy Green Beckley and Sean Castile. It's called Incredible Alien Experiences, and this takes a worldwide look at some truly bizarre, supposedly extraterrestrial encounters. Could be time travel encounters. Who knows? That's a beautiful thing about this book. But we've got people from all across the planet who have contributed amazing encounters with UFOs and their pilots. And hopefully we'll have that coming out sometime around Christmas.
Oh, wow. And how can they find you?
Sure. Well, our website is conspiracyjournal.com, and all of our books are available on Amazon. You can just go and type in Tim R. Swartz, Timothy Green Beckley, and practically every book that we've ever written is available on Amazon. And you can also hear myself and Tim Beckley on Exploring the Bizarre, which airs Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on KCORradio.com.
Okay. Well, you know what, people? You need to tune in, because I'll tell you what. I know both people, and I tell you what, both of them have more knowledge than probably 100 people out there. I mean, these guys just amaze me about their knowledge. I can talk about time travel like with Tim Swartz, or we can talk about anything, and he has the answer pretty much. I tell you, it's been really nice having you back on again, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, Gary. I always have a great time talking with you.
Okay, well, you have a great weekend that's coming up.
All right, I appreciate it, and I look forward to the next time we talk.
Okay, my friend, you take care.
All right, good night.
Bye-bye.
Well, James, we got another hour. We're going to go for a break, and then when we come back, we'll just talk about whatever comes in our little minds tonight. Normally, we would have a second guest on. That starts next week, so you'll have to bear with us tonight as we figure out what to say the last hour. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. This is Gary, and my co-host here tonight is James Krishbaum. We'll be back.
You thirst for some significance of the both dimensional kind. You enter a realm of spirit, of sight and sound and mind. Your radio is a cosmic doorway, and your psyche begins to spark. When you tune in to Gary Anderson and Night Dreams After Dark.